Good morning. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable because a lot of clothes on me because I was just getting ready today morning and few people who knew me asked me, Niranjan, you look different today. And I asked why. So they said, we've almost seen you only in a swimwear or on shorts. First time you're dressed up in jeans, t-shirt and stuff. So you look different today. And then I replied back telling the host who conducting this event pleaded me and told me to come as a speaker and not as a swimmer today. So that's why I feel a bit uncomfortable with this clothes and shoes and jeans on. Moving on. I'm Niranjan Mukundan, junior world champion, Asian Games medalist, recently got entered into the Limca Book of World Records. With all these achievements, which keeps me motivated, there's one thing which gives me more satisfaction. That's the struggle and the obstacles that I face to reach here. I was born on 4th September 1994. I'm just specifying this because it's just 4 months away and I love birthday wishes. So I hope you all call me on that day. I was born with a medical condition called spina bifida. 1 in 10 lakh kids are born like that. And when I was born, there was a small lump. 2 months after I was born, I was not able to walk. I was just sitting at a place. My parents were scared. They took me to a hospital. They asked the doctors what's wrong with my kid. And the doctors told, yeah, he's born with a closed spina bifida. There could be a lot of chances that he'll be virtually paralyzed, either mentally or physically. But then it's going to depend on the way he grows and stuff. You know, it was a very sad moment for my parents. But then they said, no, you let us know what's there that we can do to make him better. And then came water. Magic of water. The doctor said, you either put him to horse riding or to swimming. I wasn't that fond of animals. First of all, I was scared of animals. And then I didn't want to sit on an animal and go. So I told, maybe not horse riding, probably I'll try swimming. They put me in a bathtub. I was flapping my hands and I was flapping my legs as well. But when they put me outside, my legs weren't moving. So water became a very magical element in my life. And then as I started growing, they still put me on the bathtub. And then my hands grew, my legs grew, and then the bathtub kind of cracked because I was growing and the bathtub was in the same size. And then they decided me to enroll into a swimming pool which is 50 meters long and 25 meters wide so that I can flap my hands more. I got enrolled into swimming, and where kids used to usually take 21 days to 26 days to learn, I completed my course in 6 days, out of which 6 days I had 6 different instructors because all the instructors used to lose their job. They used to put me in the shallow end of the pool and I used to swim my way to the deep end. I used to love water so much. And the pic you're seeing, it's not that I'm scared of water, it is just that I'm asking my mom to leave my hand so that I can explore water. But she's not letting me do that, thinking it might be dangerous for me. 3 months, I finished my course. I was spotted by one of the coaches there. He said, Niranjan, why don't you get introduced to para sports? I was not that convinced because I only wanted to flap my hands in and out of the water. I just didn't want to learn anything else. He said, no, you have a hidden talent. I think you should get into para sports. With so much of nervousness, I represented the state. I stood on the block. There was a whistle. Take your mark, go. I finished, I took out my goggles, and I saw back. There's no one behind me. I thought I won a medal, but I realized that they had finished the race and they had gone home. I was still in the water. I was so slow. I went back to my coach. I told him, sir, I think competitive sport is not for me. Being a differently abled, I think I should just flap my hands in and out and have to go home. He said, no, Niranjan, let's train hard again. Patience and perseverance is going to take you higher. That 2 words struck. I started training for 30 minutes, started training for 45 minutes, started training for 1 hour, started training for 3 hours, and now I train 9 hours in a day. People who talk to me ask if I'm an amphibian or a human. I'm a human. Definitely, I'm a human. Abnormally, I love staying in water most of the time. That's it. You give me food, you give me anything, I would prefer in the water itself. And when I started training, next 3 months later, I again competed in one of the nationals. Again, take your mark, go. I stood there, I touched and I turned back. There were 7 people behind me out of the 8 lanes. I finished first. That was my first ever medal for the state. Obviously, when you win medals, I think I got a little more louder applause, so I can get a little more now. Yeah. Thank you. And when people applaud, you want to do much better. I came back to my coach and said, Sir, I think para sports is for me. You got to train me now. I started training. I used to finish my school. I used to come home, and then I used to pack my swim bags and then go back to swimming. Once, when I was in 6th standard, 7th standard, there was another problem. I was not able to stand up. The doctor said it is probably because of your medical condition. And that day, I remember my teacher asking everyone, guys, what are your summer plans? One of the guys stood up and he said, I'm going to Switzerland. And another girl stood up and she said, I'm going to my grandma's place for 13 days. I'm going to have some good food. And then it was my turn. And she asked me, Niranjan, what are your summer plans? I told, I think I'm going to get admitted in the best hospital in the city. And that was very shocking to everyone. And then she wanted me to explain it. What do you mean we're going to get admitted in the best hospital? Said I at that point in 6th standard, I started explaining, telling, ma'am, I was born with this condition, so I'm not able to walk properly now. So they've asked me to get a surgery done. So probably I think I'll get admitted in the best hospital in the city. So she was pretty much confused, not knowing what a best hospital is. And then once the class got over, I explained her, telling, every summer I used to get admitted in one of the other hospitals for a surgery. So I'm just hoping that this hospital is going to be better than the previous one. And then once I was operated, 6 months down the lane, all rehabilitation started. And again, I was introduced to swimming. And this time I was very focused that I have to win a medal. 2010, there came a day where the federation thought that I was doing very well at the national level. They said, Niranjan, it's time for you to wear the tricolor on. That day was the most memorable day of my life because it's everyone's dream. It's everyone's dream to represent India. And then, as you see, that was my gradual and steady progress over the years. After having 16 surgeries, one of it lasted for, I think, 19 odd hours, where I was given a local anesthesia. I was literally seeing what is happening to me, but then as a kid, I didn't understand what is happening there in the operation theater. 2010, when I got a chance to represent India, I represented India at the European Championships. I couldn't do well there because I was very nervous. First time on a plane, going outside the country, getting my passport stamped, and the best part was first time ever my passport had a visa stamp. It was all new. I think my passport came to me when I was 5 years old, but then it got stamped only when I was 11 years old. So I went there, I couldn't do well, and then I came back, started cribbing to my coach, telling there's too much pressure on me. I don't think I'll be able to do this. I've been doing well at the national level. I think that's more than enough for me. But he said, no, Niranjan, we go back to the basics. Patience and perseverance is going to take you higher. We again started from scratch. I worked day in and day out. I gave my life for that one sport, swimming, which has taken me here. 2012, again, the same championship. People believed in me. They said, Niranjan, I think you deserve another chance. I stood on the block. Before the block, I was waiting in the call room, and then there was this German guy who was like 6'2". And I asked his name, but I still can't remember his name. And he said, good luck. And I wonderingly asked his age. And he said he was 16 years, no, he was 8, 9 years old, and I was 11 years old. And I was looking at him like this. I'm like, okay, probably I should say good luck to myself and not to you. And then stood on the block. They said, take your mark, go. And then when I touched, I was before him. I won my first medal for India in 2012. One of the most memorable times. And from then, there's been no look back of representing India. 2013, I was introduced to the World Games, where I won 4 medals, which is again another boost for me. I think you can clap for that as well. 2014, as I'm prone to a lot of injuries, I was down. Again, when the Commonwealth game was happening, I was down. Though I was qualified and selected, I was down with an injury. My coach said, Niranjan, you have Asian Games coming up. You have World Championships coming up. You better buckle up. 6 months, I was bed rested, but then I was swimming in my mind. I thought I shouldn't give up. Maybe Commonwealth is gone. Maybe a big event is gone. But there are so many big events coming up. I have to channel for that. Before the Asian Games came up, I had my World Junior Games which came up. There, I won 8 medals out of the 9 events I took part. That was something to prove my fitness to people who thought that I wouldn't be performing there. In Asian Games, I won a bronze medal, which is a big achievement at the Asian level. In 2015, which is my personal best and my favorite year of my swimming career, I had a lot of pressure. 2013-14, I've been doing well at the international level. Federations have been looking at me. There have been a lot of other coaches, other swimmers from all other countries who have been looking at me. A lot of pressure. And that was my last year at the junior level. It was in Netherlands. A sweet surprise came up telling I've been selected to give the athlete's oath in front of 40 competing nations, becoming the first Asian and becoming the first Indian to do so. That was a moral boost for me. And then, as usual, I was talking to my coach. He was not with me in the village. I spoke to my coach and he said, Niranjan, you have to do well here. And this is your last chance to. This incident happened where a US coach came to me. He said, you have a pretty good record, but then I'm going to scratch off your name from the heat list so that it gives a moral boost to my swimmers. You know, Asians have not performed well at this particular event. So, if I take off your name, if 8 people are there, and if I scratch out 1, my swimmers will think there are only 7 people. I was broken inside, but then I told, thank you, sir. That's okay, you can scratch my name. 3 days down the line, I was crowned as the junior world champion, winning 10 medals out of all the 10 events I took part, out of which 7 were gold. I was made a pathway, a guard of honor, by all the 40 teams when I received the crown. The same guy, the same coach, with his entire team, he came to me, he bowed to me, and he gave a big hug and told, I should have scratched my swimmer's name instead of your name. I think that is one of the biggest achievements that I've got. Yes, that I've got a lot of gold medals. They nicknamed me as Medal Machine of India. Please don't ask me to produce medals now. I can't produce it. I can only win it. And I've been winning a lot of awards. And recently, I've also entered the Limca Book of World Records for the achievement done at the World Games in 2015. But I derive all this satisfaction, I derive all this allocates, it's because of the obstacles that I've faced. People thought I would not be able to do. People thought being differently abled is not something that you can achieve. I never want to place a diss in an ability is what I believed, and that's what has got me here. I thank you everyone for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all.